Hi guys, I'm Zoe from Zoe's Fancy Cakes, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to make this little buttercream cake. It's a nice, simple, easy one for today's video. Thanks for joining us, I hope you enjoy it. So I've used two different cake tins. Excuse the sellotape that was stuck around the edge of that. These are just 4-inch tins. I've got a half sphere shape and then just a normal 4-inch tin. And I've baked a pink cake and also a chocolate one. So the pink one is just a vanilla cake and I just added some colour mill to that. Just the hot pink, just a little bit, just a tiny bit. I've also added the hot pink into a little bit of buttercream as well, which I'll use for putting between the layers. I have made the buttercream actually using flavoured icing today, guys. The sticky toffee pudding, which is just a white icing, is that one. But I thought it might taste nice flavour-wise. Okay, so I'm going to just stack up my cakes, starting with like the plain ones, or the ones that came out of the normal round cake tin. And we're going between the chocolate one and the pink one. And it's up to you how tall you want to lay them up. And then when we start adding the dome bit from the top, so you can see I've kind of swapped them, interlinked them. So I've kind of got a spare one as well now left because I made one of each. We're going to cover the whole thing in the pink buttercream, which should have a nice toffee flavour to it with us using the flavoured icing sugar. And then I'm just going to scrape it down smooth, or smoothish. So this is just my crumb coat. We'll put that in the fridge and it will firm up. And I'm using a flexible smoother to try and help me get the dome shape on the top. So while that is in the fridge, I'm just gonna melt some ruby chocolate and we're gonna cover some Oreos in it. So I need one for each ear and we might use one for the nose as well. So I'm just putting a cocktail stick in each one of these Oreos. So push it into the filling in the middle rather than into the biscuit. And then the one for the nose, I'm going to try and cut a little bit off the bottom. Just be careful though, because your Oreos can just break and crack when you're doing this. I'm actually just going to brighten the chocolate up a little bit using some of that same hot pink food colouring that I used in the buttercream and also the cake batter. Don't just use any food colouring in your chocolate though, guys. It has to be an oil-based one. So I'm just going to put some little circles of the pink chocolate on here. The idea of these is they're going to be the middle of the ears, but I'm not sure what size is going to be best, so I'll do a few. And then let's just dunk the Oreo into the chocolate. Now we're going to cover the whole bear in coconut. So the ears are going to need to be covered in coconut as well. So I've just got that in a bowl and we're just going to cover that Oreo. So I'm just resting it in and then trying to flick the coconut up the sides and then we'll turn it over. I'm going to rest it in a piece of polystyrene to dry. So I'm holding it upright, pushing that toothpick or cocktail stick in there to dry. So you're just going to need 2 of those. Feel free to make spare if you're worried about them breaking. And I'm just going to lighten it up a little bit. Now, I did add a bit of white chocolate to this, but it didn't go much lighter in colour. So I'm actually going to add some white food colouring. Again, it's just the colour mill one that I've used here. And we're going to now cover the other one that we're going to use for the nose. Oh, and a bit of the biscuit dropped off. I'm going to do it again. I actually have just cut the very corners of the Oreo off as well, so it's a little bit more rounded looking. Okay, so we'll just leave our bits and pieces on there. That was just a spare Oreo, the other one you can see on my greaseproof paper. It shouldn't stick to the greaseproof paper though, guys. I am going to use a jelly bean for the end of the nose. Put this on while the chocolate is still soft. We don't want it to set, otherwise they won't stick. I've done a green and a purple nose, but I think I'll probably just use the purple one. I wanted pink, but I ate all the pink jelly beans, so it's no longer an option. If you want to add anything else to it, you could add some little sprinkles. I've got some nice little star-shaped ones in there, so I'm going to put those on either side of the nose. And I've got all the leftover chocolate in the pot, so I'm just going to put that on my greaseproof paper. Now, the greaseproof paper will make sure that nothing sticks to it as well when that chocolate's all set. I'm going to make some chocolate bark with it, so I'm just going to sprinkle in some of my sprinkle collection on there, just because it looks nice and pretty, and I think it's a nice gift to give people the chocolate bark. Sometimes I put it on cakes, sometimes I just give it as like a side bit to give to people. So I'm also going to make a pink heart for this bear, so I've just filled this chocolate mould. It's a heart-shaped one with some pink chocolate, and once they're dry, I'm just going to pop them out. I'll probably only use one of them. So I've just put some coconut in a bigger dish ready for later. And I'm going to put my second coat of buttercream on the cake. We're going to scrape it down. So I put quite a lot on this time and we're going to just scrape it down all over. Now the good thing about this one, because it's going to be covered in coconut, it doesn't matter if it's not perfectly smooth or if I've got the odd little air bubble in, which is good because often my cakes are not smooth and I often have the air bubbles in there as well. Put my cake in that bowl of coconut, and also I'm just going to use some to try and press onto the top as well. And then we're going to use all that coconuts in that tray, just sort of push up onto the sides. I'm trying to be really careful. I don't want to press too hard because I don't want to put fingerprints in the cake everywhere. At the same time, just make sure your buttercream hasn't set too hard before you do this. So there we go. It's all covered in buttercream now. Once those chocolate ears have set, we can push those in. I am going to leave those cocktail sticks on. They are food safe. You just need to remember that they can't be eaten. So take out the ears and then just pull out those toothpicks before you eat those ears. Those pink chocolate discs we made earlier, I've peeled them off the greaseproof paper and I'm just going to stick them into the middle of each ear. I've actually attached them with a tiny bit of the leftover buttercream. And where we're going to add the nose, it's very heavy. So until it sets, I'm going to have to put some toothpicks or cocktail sticks underneath where I want that nose to sit. So I've pushed 3 in. They will leave 3 little holes, but they're very easy for us to cover. And you can either use chocolate or your leftover buttercream to push on where that nose is going to go. And we're going to press that on. Mine's actually the chocolate, so it's kind of started to half harden. And I'm also going to just push a little chocolate heart down there. So the chocolate heart we made earlier, we're just going to stick just one of them on just there. And now I want to have a look at where the eyes are going to go. I'm going to do closed eyes on this one. I don't know whether to keep it all pink or whether we go for a colour, a darker colour. Yeah, I'm gonna go darker. It's actually really dark brown, this, rather than black, but you can go for whatever colour you like. I'm using a small round cookie cutter, and we're gonna cut out some crescent shapes with that. And we can stick them on just as the crescent shape, or if you want, you can flick out the outer edge of the eyelash like that. And you can use either a little bit of melted chocolate or buttercream just on the back of them. I was trying to use my palette knife, it was a bit big, so I ended up using my finger for this, guys. I have washed my hands. And then you're just going to work out whereabouts you want to put them and then just give them a good push on in place. Ooh. So it's just sloped downwards a bit. I'm going to nudge that up. There we go. They're both on. And just peel off your chocolate bark. Now, I forgot to show you guys earlier, but before it's set, just score some little lines in. And you can do it in different colours. So you can see these are ones I've made in the ruby chocolate. And then I put the sprinkles in. And then more of the little heart shapes, but they all look quite nice together. So, you know, if you want to do them for a little gift for somebody, you could just put all these chocolates and little bark in a nice little box for somebody. Once you've made sure the nose is fully set onto the cake, you can remove those cocktail sticks, guys. Just make sure it is fully set, and then you can just nudge your coconut around a little bit to hide those holes. There it is, all finished, guys. You could change the ear shape if you wanted, although I guess that's hard if you're using Oreos. Let's cut it up, see what it looks like inside. Ta-da! I think I'm going to be eating this one myself. If you liked the video, be sure to hit the thumbs up button and leave me a comment below. You can see more of my tutorials by clicking on the images on screen now. If you haven't already, make sure you click the subscribe button to stay up to date with my future tutorials. There are also links in the description box below where you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and more.